Okay. So as I said, good evening to everyone who's not here at the moment. Welcome to Centre Park. And thank you very much for joining me remotely. If you are doing this afterwards and it's particularly hot, just make sure you've got lots amount of water with you and any kind of breeze, because it is a little bit warm today as well. And thank you very much for people who are actually joining me live. So we will get cracking. Just make sure you've got mats with you and anything else you need. I haven't done any equipment today because I didn't know what everyone had. But if you do happen to have your resistance band with you and you want to use it, I will give you occasions on which to use that. And I'm just going to mute you guys as well. Okay, wonderful. So first of all, everyone, we're actually going to start standing up. We're going to come down fairly quickly, so I will move the, I'll leave the camera where it is. Right. So if you want to stand at the end of your mat, and first of all, I just want you to give your toes a little wriggle and just make sure that they're very grounded. So you feel that they're very solid on the floor. And then we're going to bring our arms all the way up to the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. Bring your arms down. And then we're going to chin to chest and roll it down. Just roll hands all the way down your legs. Roll down, roll down. And then we're going to drop our head. And just feel like your head and your arms are really, really heavy. And just stay here. Just 1 second. Harry, can you turn that down, sweetie? It's far too loud. That's it. Okay, whilst we're down here, I just want you to sort of little kind of sways from one side to the other. So kind of like a little willow in the wind. And what you'll feel is one hamstring set and then the other set of feeling that a little bit more. Keep your head nice and low and then just sort of feel like you're wafting in the wind. That's it. Okay, come back to center and then we're going to roll it up nice and slowly. So just feel the back of your legs having to do a little bit of work and stack your vertebrae. So stack, 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 stack. Head last, deep breath in, arms up. And back down. Chin to chest, rolling it down again. Now, most of you, if not all of you, have been working in the office or in a desk-based role today. So that back is very likely to be stiff. So just stretch it out. Back of your legs probably haven't had a stretch today. Certainly your back. So just really feel heavy and just get that really lovely stretch. If you're able to and you're down on the floor, I just want you to bring your toes and just put your hands, your fingers underneath your toes. So you just get an additional stretch. If you can't quite make it there, no problem whatsoever. Just rest everything down. Okay, so bending your knees if you do need to bring your hands down to the floor and bend your knees. And then we're going to walk forwards and we're going to kind of come into, get rid of that. We're going to come into a downward dog position. So I'm just going to turn very slightly to the diagonal so you can see what I'm doing. So downward dog position. Polly, hopefully you've done this before, and we're just going to drop that head and then push your heels back to the floor. So we're in a little piked position. Take a deep breath and just try and relax that back again. So what you should feel is the back of your legs, so your calves and your hamstrings are getting a really good stretch. Really nice and tall with that sit bone. So your pelvic bone at the top should be nice and tall. Back straight, arms straight, head in between those arms. Really try to keep that position. So we're not going to hang around here for too long because it's pretty strong on your shoulders. So we're going to come up onto your toes, just ensuring they don't cramp, and then push back down. So with that, we're going to do an in-breath and an out-breath. So breathe in on the way up. Breathe out on the way down. Push back. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time. Breathe in. And breathe out. Hold it here. Okay, up onto your toes one more time. And then we're going to come forward and bring his knees down so you end up on all fours. Okay, if we're comfortable there. Now, with all fours, I really want you to make sure that you feel like you're balanced. So we're not too far forwards, we're not too far backwards. So what I'd like you to do is close your eyes, and I want you to visualize what balanced means to you, okay? So keep your back nice and straight, so we're not arching down, back nice and straight. I could put your dinner on it. And then I want you to think, right, is there more pressure on my wrists or is there more pressure on my knees? Usually, most people are sat back quite a bit, so just make sure that there's equal pressure on your knees and your wrists. That's it. Now, equal pressure to the side. So is there one sort of more pressure on your left or your right? So again, if you close your eyes again and just give yourself a little tiny rock from one side to the other, and then try and centralize yourself so you can feel forwards and backwards, sides and sides, that you're feeling equal. Good. Right, only at that point do we start doing any work now. So your core should be mildly engaged. It just knows it has to do something. Okay, so we're going to start with the cat and cow. So bring yourself all the way up into a little arch, as if your belly button is going to come to your spine. Drop your head and create a tiny little bridge. Hold it here. We're going to come through to center and then drop your belly button, lift your tailbone, lift your head. So it creates a nice little arch in your back. Looking forwards, and that's your cow. Come through to center, all the way up again. Really feel that arch, drop your head. Through to center, drop that belly button, lift and lift your head. That's it. Feel that cow. This is a really good one. So one more is absolutely excellent if you have got a bit of a sore back, particularly if you've been sat at somewhere you shouldn't be necessarily, like bed or kitchen table, or not your office chair. Okay, and again, back up to neutral. So neutral spine. So now let's work that a little bit harder. So we're going to do opposite. So opposite hand to knee, please opposite, okay? It is quite a lot harder doing it the same side. What I'd like you to do is lift your opposite hand and lift the knee. Okay, so just float them off the floor. I say just, it's not actually that easy. Use your core. Your core should go, oh God, right. And then put them back down. So this is stage one. And the other side. So lift the other hand, lift the other knee. Make sure it's opposite. Float it off the floor, concentrate, and back down. Now your head should not be looking forward, you should be just looking just in front of your hands. And let's do that again. So one hand opposite knee, hold it, and back down. And then change the weight and hand opposite knee. Excellent. You may find it a tiny bit harder on one side than the other. Good, and back down. Right, okay, so let's try advancing that slightly. So what I would like you to do is your hand and your knee, I want you to meet in the center so they look like that. So you're holding it there. So pick up your hand, pick up your knee, hold it in the center a little bit harder. And bring it back and drop. Let's go the other side. So pick up the opposite hand and knee, bring it in. If this is all too much and you're like, God, no, just stay where we were first. Okay, you really have got to use your core and balance on this. Shoulders are doing some work as well. And back down. Lovely. Right, if that's enough of an advancement for you, you're like, yep, I'm going to keep practicing that, totally fine. If you're like, no, I think I can keep going, that's absolutely fine, you come with me. So we are going to start where we were. So hand in, onto knee, and then we're going to come across to the diagonal. So your leg is going to come out, your hand's going to come out. And hopefully you don't kick a small boy and a sofa. Coming out to the side. So it's diagonal. Glutes got to do some work here. Suddenly your leg goes, oh God, and bring it back in again. So I'm just going to move slightly. So let's do that again. Opposite side. So hand up, knee up into center. Hold it there first. And then you're going to bring it out. hold it out, so it's out to the side. So you should feel that your glute medius, which is this muscle here, is going to have to do some work. It's got to hold you up. Your core's got to hold you up. Your shoulder's got to hold you up. Bring it back in. Excellent. Okay, just give yourself a little wiggle. Just relax your back out. Wonderful. Okay, if your wrists are just starting to go, particularly Vanessa, I just want you to sit back and just give them a little wriggle, okay? So Vanessa, hopefully you're okay. We're not going to stay in this position for ages. Right, so let's try that again. So Vanessa, you should be here, darling. And we're going to bring it in. So one side and the other. Bring it in, concentrate and control. And then we're bringing it out, opposite. Now you can bring it forward if you want to, but that's actually a bit easier. Bring it out to the side, get your medius to do some work. Breathe, don't hold your breath. And back in. Lovely, reset. Just keep that back nice and straight and lift opposite hand, bring it in. Make sure you're stable and controlled first. Then we're bringing it out. Apologies, I'm going to have to avoid this sofa. Bringing it out, hold it here. Not easy. Certainly on one side and the other, usually a bit harder. Hold it, and bring it back in. Wonderful. Okay, so to relax out this one as much as possible, bring your knees out and bring your toes in, and then we're going to come back into a child's pose and sit down. Okay, so your arms are in front of you, head down, and relax. Now, where you should feel this is your shoulders should feel really relaxed. Your hip flexors will have to do something. Your glutes are completely relaxed, but your shoulders should feel the majority of the stretch here. Just do a couple more deep breaths. Try and relax your hips, relax your shoulders. Good. Nice and slowly bring yourself up. Right. As we're in this position, I just want to stretch out your shoulder blades as well. You can stay here or you can come back up, no problem. If you're bringing yourself down, just be aware of your feet getting pins and needles. If they do feel like they're starting to cramp or get pins and needles, just come up and just give them a little wriggle, okay? But we're down here. I want you to come down onto your forearms, if you can see me okay. And then we're going to feed one arm through, okay? So this is called thread the needle. You're going to bring your arm through and then drop your shoulder and turn your head. Now, if for whatever reason you're too stiff around the shoulder area or shoulder blades, come up, and that's a lot easier. So bring your bum up in the air if that's too hard. If not, then we're right down on the floor and just drop your head on the floor. Arm straight, and the other arm is using for balance. Just take a couple of deep breaths here. Good. And just slowly bring yourself out of that, and then bring your hand in front of you back to where it was before. Exactly the same thing the other side. So we're going to feed it through. Drop your shoulder, drop your head, watching your Britney Spears earpiece. Oh, funny every time. And just try and relax. Good. And bring yourself up. Fold yourself out of that nice and slowly. Right, if that's enough for you and you're like, yep, shoulders are getting a good stretch, we're doing exactly the same thing again. If you want to advance that, we're adding a twist into it. So if you may need to, Polly, you may need to look at what I'm doing on this so you can see the first time. So we're doing exactly the same thing. So feed it through, drop your shoulder, drop your head, and now add a little twist to your head. And then the hand that is available, we're going to lift up. Now, if that's too hard, you can lift your bum. If not, you're trying to bring your bum down. So up to the ceiling, nice and tall. Hold it there, and if you can, look at your fingers. That provides a really good twist. Okay, bring your hand down, and then bring yourself out of that, and then we're coming back to your forearms. Again, just as a reminder, if your feet are starting to get a little bit pins and needles, just give them a little shake. Okay, so let's do the other side. So remember, one side might be a little bit stiffer than the other. Usually people are dominant in one side. Twist your head, shoulder down, staying here, or if you want to, we're lifting that arm up to the ceiling, straightening it and trying to look at it. Looking at your fingers, really try and point those fingers up. And remember to breathe. This is quite strong if you're in this position, it's quite a strong one. Very good for your thyroid gland as well. Down and bring yourself back up. Okay, so we're in this position. I just want you to bring yourself, curl yourself up and bring your knees together. And then if you want to, just give your feet a little jig if they're feeling a little bit pins and needlesy. If this position sitting here is not comfortable for you for whatever reasons, knees, hips and or feet, then just swing your legs round and we'll come onto your bum. But if this position is okay for you, what I'd like to do is bring your hands together to your chest, and then we're actually going to fold forwards. So fold it forwards to your hands basically get in the way, and just bring them right to the floor and drop your head down. Now lift your head, straighten your back, and then you'll bring your hands straight up with you. Now what you'll notice is, first of all, it's quite difficult to stay right near your glutes. And secondly, your hip flexors have got to do a bit of work now. Very mild, but actually when we advance this, it does actually get quite difficult. So let's do that again. I'll do it to this side. So hands to your chest, fold. It's a hip hinge from here. Fold forwards, keep your back straight, back straight, back straight. Right at the last minute, curl it, hands down, head to floor. Hold it. Lift your head, straighten your back again, and then lift your hands. Can you feel that here? Hip flexors just having to do some work. If they're not feeling like they're doing any work, you need to straighten your back more. So we can advance that. So now I want you to put your hands to your forehead. If you're like, no, that was hard enough, keep it there. Forehead. Dad, do you want to get past? Okay, and straight back, straight back. Straight back as long as you can. Get to a point where you're like, no, I can't. Curl over your knees, hands down to the floor, head to the floor. So try and keep that bum as close to your heels as possible. So we're lifting our head, we're lifting our hands, straight back and then lift. Now where you'll feel that is even stronger. You should feel that even stronger, arms down. Wonderful. Deep breath in. And the out breath, bring your arms up again. And then we're going to hinge forwards. So bum out, back straight. Does require a bit of discipline, this one. All the way down, curl at the last minute, head onto the floor. Relax down, relax your shoulders. Deep breath in. Out breath, lift. Feel those hip flexors. Try really hard to keep that bum down. All the way up and release. Wonderful. We're going to do one more stage. If you're like, no, that was hard enough, stay there. Or you can regress it back down to here. If you're like, no, no, let's do this. I'm just going to turn very slightly to here so I don't hit my hands. We're going to bring our arms all the way up. So deep breath in, all the way up. Arms straight, then hinge forwards. Now, the further your hands away from your body, the harder this is. So all the way down, straight back, and then the last minute, hands are out, view into a child's pose, head, drop your head. And relax. Lift your head, lift your hands. This is the hard bit. Lift. Oh, all the way up and down. If you manage that, well done. Deep breath in. Hands up on the out breath. Let's do one more. Hinge it forwards, back straight, straight, straight until the last minute. Head forwards and then curl it down into your child's pose. Drop your head, drop your shoulders onto the floor and relax. Deep breath in. Lift your head, lift your hands. get those muscles to do the work. Lift and release. Absolutely excellent if you manage that. Just give your shoulders a little roll. Very good, very well disciplined. Okay, so probably everyone's feet are feeling a bit like, oh, I don't want to be on them anymore. So just bring your feet to the side. Now we're going to do something called a mermaid. So your feet just rock onto the side, and you're going to create two little triangles. So feet out, and then you're going to bring your legs out to the side. I'm just going to turn slightly so you can see. If you can see that. Now what I'd like you to do is, depending on how stiff your hips are, it's very likely that you won't be able to necessarily get that bum cheek on the floor. If you are sort of stuck like this, leaning over to one side, I need you to prop underneath. I just grab this. So you can grab a cushion or well, actually a book as well. A fairly thick book can do the job. So if you're still like this slightly, I want you to prop that side so it evens you out. So you should feel even. If you're already even and you're like, no, it's fine. As long as this knee isn't aggravating, then you don't need a prop. So we're in this mermaid position. Very pretty. So we're going to lean to this plane of movement now, okay? So one hand down, one arm up, nice and tall, and then we're going to lean over. Now, as soon as you lean over, I don't want you to lift that bum cheek. The bum cheek stays on the floor. That's actually part of the stretch and the move. So where you should feel this is all the way down here, okay, up and down there, all the way up to underneath your armpit. And lean over. Now you may not be able to get this lean, that's okay. Just lean as far as you can. Feel beautiful and balletic. And then bring this up. This one's for Steve. And the other side, up and over and lean the other way. Now what you'll notice is you can't go anywhere near as far because basically your leg's stopping you. Don't worry, that's supposed to happen. Now if you're feeling this knee suddenly creeping up around you, just try and train it down. Bring yourself up to center. Let's do that again. So if you can go a little bit further. And if you want to, you can actually bring your forearm down onto the floor. But just please make sure that bum cheek doesn't lift too much. So original hand down, arm up, leaning over. So this is the extension. So we're down here. Just make sure that bum cheek stays on the floor. You don't have to bring your forearm down onto the floor if that's uncomfortable. Really nice lean. And then we're bringing it up. And then you're cartwheeling it over to the other side. And obviously, you can't come down onto the floor on this one. Good. And bring it up to center. Wonderful, beautiful. So as elegantly as you can, we're just leaning backwards very slightly and you're going to swap your legs over. So up and over. If you've got that, hopefully you're not in a muddle. So again, one side may feel very, very different. Remember, you can prop up one side to make sure that you feel equal. If you're already feeling equal, obviously you don't need the prop. Okay, again, just making sure that knees aren't feeling any strain. Your hips should feel stretched. I wouldn't say pain, certainly no pain in there. It should feel stretched. So one hand down, let's go the side that you sort of naturally want to go first. We'll come up nice and tall, and then we're leaning over. Again, just make sure that bum cheek stays on the floor. Really enjoy that stretch to the side. Really lovely stretch, that one. And bring it back up. And then we're cartwheeling over, hand down. Remember, you won't go as far on this side. This is definitely my weaker side, so I'm going nowhere near as far. Good, bring it back up to center. Wonderful. And again, if you want to come a little bit lower, you can by all means. So we're using our forearm all the way up and bring it down if you want to. Just make sure that bum cheek doesn't lift too far off the floor. Really stretch, definitely worst leg for me. And all the way up and bringing over and stretch. If this knee's starting to creep up, just bring it down, train it down. Good, and bring it up. Wonderful. Okay, leaning backwards, and then we're just going to bring our legs to the front of you. Okay, give them a little jig, because I've had to do a bit of work. Wonderful, roll your shoulders. Right, we're going to do some forward bends, and then I'm going to add some core to that as well. So I'm going to very slightly come to the side so you can see me. First things first, very importantly, this takes me a while. Get your bum out the way. Lift your bum cheeks. That's it. And your sit bones should feel squarely on the floor. Right, so point the toes if you're able to, and then straighten your legs if you're able to. If they are up here, that's all right, but just try to train them down and straighten them eventually. And then we're going to sit right up with your back nice and straight. Take a deep breath in, arms up, and then we're going to hinge forward and flex your toes. Now, if there is no chance whatsoever that you're going to meet your toes, no problem. Just get to the point of what you are meeting. So if that's your knees, shins, ankles, or your toes, wherever that is, drop your head. As soon as you reach that, drop your head. If you have got hold of your toes this evening, then we are going to push those toes forwards. If you can, you need to get a good grip of your toes and then push the toes forwards. You should feel that around your shoulder blades. Drop your head. Wonderful. Let go of whatever you have. And we're going to keep our arms up by our ears. Deep breath in and relax out of that. Lovely. Let's do that one more time all the way up. Deep breath in. Fold forwards on the out breath. Hold on to whatever you are holding on to. Push if you've got your toes. Drop your head wherever you are. Nice deep breath here. Release and all the way up. And release back down. Wonderful. Right, now we're going to extend that slightly. I'm just going to shift forwards. Make sure you've got enough space behind you because we're going to lean backwards after this. So just shimmy forwards if you need to. Okay, so we're going to keep your legs straight and then coil down. So when you're coming down, definitely don't keep your back straight on this one. You need to tuck your pelvis under and curl it down, okay? So one vertebrae at a time. Your core is being used as a brake, so I don't want you to splat onto the floor. This does require a little bit of practice, so if you're just like the first time, oh my God, I'm on the floor, don't worry, this will come with over time. So we're not going to come all the way up. I just want you to touch your toes, if you can, and then curl it down, tilt your pelvis, roll it down super slowly. Vertebrae to vertebrae, shoulders should hit the head and your head first, last. And then we're going to bring our arms all the way up. Really try and reach the ceiling, bring it down, reach the wall behind you and just relax that back out. Now, depending on what you've been doing all day today, if you've been sat at a desk, it might complain a little bit at this point. So just give yourself a second. If you need a little wriggle just to make everything feel a bit flatter, absolutely fine. Just give yourself a second on this pencil stretch. Take a deep breath in and then bring your arms up. Lift your head and push your hands towards your toes. Nice and slowly, very, very nice and slowly. Flex those feet, touch your toes if you can. And then we're coming back again. So tilt the pelvis, tilt it right under, lower back, mid back, shoulders, head, arms up, nice big stretch back. All hands all the way over. Do into your pencil stretch, deep breath in, create an arch and then push that arch down. Use your core, lift your arms up. Lift your head. Push your hands towards your toes. Let's do that one more time. That's it. Touch all the way down, roll it down. Relax your shoulders, tilt. Slow, slow, slow. Core is a brake. All the way down. Back. Deep breath. Lift. Lift your head. Curl it back up. And touch your toes. Good. Come back up to seating. Wonderful. Okay, if you managed that level of speed, that was absolutely excellent. Right, now your core should be, okay, I'm just about warmed up. I think I'm going to need to do something now. that's where we need you because we're going to progress on that. So I'd like you to roll down onto the floor again and just bend your knees very slightly, okay? So we're rolling down the floor, bend your knees so your feet are nice and flat on the floor. Right, so first things first is just tilt your pelvis. Whatever we do, I'm asking you to tilt your pelvis and just make sure if you get your hand, you can't get your hand underneath your back. So the arch has gone. So your core should be, your abs should be very, very slightly engaged just at the front, very slightly. So what we're going to work on first of all is the top two abs, so right at the top here. So if you can put your hands behind your head and just relax your shoulders down and relax your elbows down. So they should be flat out like you're lying on the beach, which would be very nice. So we're going to do a couple of crunches and then we're going to add to that. So take a deep breath in, and on the out breath, I want you to lift your head and bring your nose up to the ceiling and just take your shoulders off the floor, okay? Very, very important that you don't stress your neck on this. So take a deep breath in. On the out breath, lift your head, lift your shoulders. So you're holding it here. You're not straining your neck. So your nose is not pointing towards your knees. It's pointing up to the ceiling. Use your hands to hold your head. They're heavy. Heads are heavy. And then roll it back down. So if you're doing this correctly, you should fairly immediately be shaking. Your top two sets of abs should go, oh my God, that's absolutely fine. And that's exactly where I need you to be, okay? Not this is easy. It should not be easy. I do this every day and it's not easy. So breathe in, breathe out, lift your head, lift your shoulders, and feel that just like quivering of your muscles, particularly the top two set, holding you. Hold it and then bring it back down. Wonderful. Release your elbows, everything flat. And let's go again. Deep breath in and lift and lift. Good. Hold it. Hold it. Remember to breathe and back down. Slowly back down. Wonderful. Okay. Right. So that should have very slightly warmed up the top two sets. And now let's have a think about the middle two sets. So if we're gonna bring your heels a little bit closer to your bum and put your hands on your knees, you should be able to reach. And what we're going to do is we're going to lift and reach for your knees. If that is straining your neck, you need to make sure that your chin is towards your chest. If it is still straining your neck, I want you to place one hand behind your head. Now that tends to strain my neck slightly, so I'm going to put my hand behind my head already. So take a deep breath in, and then you're going to lift and try and aim for your knee. Okay, so you are looking at your knees now, and then roll it back down. Now what you'll find is that your top two abs go, oh God, okay, I've just done some work, and then the next two kick in. So deep breath in and lift on the out breath. Hold it. Can you feel a slight difference? It's very slightly getting lower as well now. And release. And again, deep breath in. Lift on the out breath. Hold it up there. Hold it, reach for those knees. And bring it down nice and slowly. Wonderful. Okay, so bring your hand back from your head. Now the last two sets, right down the bottom, they are super, super hard, but we're going to give it a go. So one of the easiest ways of getting that, it's not easy, the easiest ways of hitting it is actually, I'm going to turn slightly, is by bringing your legs up to the ceiling. Now you have stretched out, exactly why we've done it, you have stretched out those legs. So what we're going to do is first of all engage those muscles. So I want you to find them first. So depending on your body shape, we may need to dig a little bit deeper, but they should be right down the bottom, sort of in between your pelvic bone, basically, pelvic bone. So tilt your pelvis first, take a deep breath in, and then try to engage those muscles. Now it doesn't mean hold your breath, it means squeeze your muscles at the bottom. So we need to find them first, breathe in, and then engage them. So they should feel a bit more solid. Now you can definitely breathe and you can definitely talk still holding them. This does take a little bit of practice, but you should be able to just still keep breathing and relax. Good. Now your glutes will very, very slightly want to get involved. That's okay, but as long as you're not doing that and squeezing your glutes, it is here that we need to squeeze, not there. Not yet. So again, find them again, take a deep breath in and squeeze. So they should feel solid. Remember to breathe, keep holding them there and relax. Lovely. Okay, so now when we're doing that, I want you to bring up one leg. So we're going to float one leg up into something called tabletop, which is here. Okay, but engage those engage your muscles first. So deep breath in, engage that muscle, set. Okay, now another deep breath in and lift one leg on the out breath. Good. Another deep breath in and engage the other leg. Now this is the point where it goes, oh my God, that's actually quite hard. If you are finding that your back is going, oh my God, and arching because your core isn't strong enough to hold it yet, I want you to put your hands underneath your bum. Okay, so just support them like that. You'll find that that pushes your back down. If you don't have to do that because your core is holding you, then don't. But if your back starts to arch, please put your hands underneath your bum, it will stop it. So you should feel, just with your legs in this position, that your core is working really quite hard now. Okay, now what I'd like you to do is lift those legs. So core still engaged, but you're going to lift those legs up to 90. If you can get them straight, fantastic. If they can't quite go straight because of your hamstrings, no problem. So you're lifting your legs. Now I want you to flex your toes. That position there is not easy. So if you're struggling, bend your knees, reset, make sure this is engaged still. Okay, if we've got that, this is the third one. So your hands are up and we're going to reach for our toes. You won't make it, but reach for them. So deep breath in and lift. Hold it here and back down. Deep breath in, lift. Hold it and back down. Let's do one more. Deep breath in, lift. Not easy. And down. Okay, dropping your hands on the floor. Just unflex your toes. Bring your knees back down to tabletop. And then we're bringing one leg down. The whole lot should still be engaged. Then the other foot down. And then disengage everything. Oh, good. Right. I defy anyone to feel like their lower abs are not engaged now. So we have just warmed up all three. Okay, you should be feeling that now. Really should be engaged. So let's repeat what we've done. So they should feel like, oh, I'm doing some work now. All right. So let's bring our heels back in, feet flat on the floor, bringing your hands behind your head. Remember, you can always regress this if it's too difficult. All right, this isn't that easy. So remember, you are bringing your nose up to the ceiling, not forward. So deep breath in, lift your head, lift your shoulders, hold it. Now, as I said earlier, if you're shaking like a leaf, you've got it right. Not that easy to talk in this position. And roll it down and relax. And deep breath in, lift your head and lift your shoulders. Shake, shake, shake. And back down. And one more deep breath in. On the out breath, lift your head, lift your shoulders, hold it here. Try and keep those elbows out. Don't want them doing this. Keep them out. Try and lift your shoulders off the floor. And 3, 2, 1, shake, 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 and roll down. Lovely. Okay, so second set involving the first set as well. So hands in front of you, one hand behind your head if you want to. Now we're reaching for those knees. Deep breath in. Lift your head and lift. Now your glutes will want to squeeze very slightly as well. It's absolutely fine. Hold it here and roll it down. So feel slightly lower kicking in. Deep breath in. Lift your head and go towards your knees. That's it. Good stuff. Roll it down. One more. Deep breath in. Lift your head, squeeze your glutes slightly and lift. Excellent. Hold it. Shake, shake, shake and roll it down nice and slowly. Well done. Right, the tough one. Let's do this. We've got this. So hands underneath your bum if you want to, if you're feeling that arch. So first of all, let's just make sure we engage first. So deep breath in and then engage the lower abs. Breathe in and squeeze. Just have a feel, just making sure they're doing their job. Right, now deep breath in, lift one leg. Hold it, deep breath in. On the out breath, lift the other. So fully engaged now. Remember, if your back's fully arching, hands underneath your bum, hold it here. These should be tight as now. The whole set should be like, oh God, doing some work now. Hold it here. Okay, then we are lifting those legs. Keep it engaged, keep it engaged. Don't bring your legs together, just slightly far apart, just a bit further than your hips. Now flex your toes. Hold it here, quite strong. Your back and legs should be feeling this a little bit as well. Now we're going to bring our hands off the floor and deep breath in, lift. So head and shoulders off the floor. Your hands are going towards your toes, they won't reach, and back down. And take a deep breath in and lift. And down. And again, one more time, deep breath in and lift. Hold it. Johnny, can you turn that down, please? And roll it down. Hands down, keep that held. Just unflex your toes. One, down, bring one foot to the floor, bring the other foot to the floor, disengage the whole lot. Oh, very, very good. If you're with me still on that, absolutely excellent. Right, let's just have a little rock out of that one. So if you just want to bring your knees in and then just do little tiny circles with your knees, which will just provide a tiny little nice massage for your lower back. And the other way. Good. Okay, so hands out to the side, and then I want you to drop your knees to one side. Just make sure that your shoulder blades stay flat on the floor, okay? Just relax that out. So this should untwist your core and provide a really nice rest for your abs and provide a really nice stretch for your back. This one's got a supine twist. Okay, right, breathe in and use your oblique muscle switcher to the side to actually lift. So deep breath in, and then on the out breath, lift. Your muscles to the side of your abs have to do a bit of work there. And now bring it over to the other side, watching the sofa. Okay, relax your shoulders. Shoulder blades must be on the floor. And if that means that your legs aren't on the floor, that's absolutely fine. Your shoulder blades need to be on the floor. Just relax. A couple of nice deep breaths. Good. Deep breath in and lift. Wonderful. Right, we've been on the floor for a little while now. So what I'd like you to do is just take one leg, lock your hands underneath, and then just rock yourself up nice and slowly. Now, I'll very rarely, if never, ask you just to stand up. Okay, we have been on the floor for 3/4 of an hour now, so you just need to orientate yourself again. I want to finish with a little bit of standing glute work, and balance is required, so we're going to finish there. But first of all, I just want you to come back onto your hands and knees, not for long, Vanessa, don't worry. And then we're going to tuck your toes under and just come up onto your toes. So you're balancing onto your toes. I want you to bring your head down and your bum up, and then we'll come into that roll down position here. Okay, just hold it here for a sec. And then nice and slowly rolling back up again. Stack those vertebrae, give yourself a second because you have been on the floor. All the way up, arms up, deep breath in. Feel nice and tall. And then we're coming back down again. Wonderful. Okay, just give your legs a little shake. Excellent. Right, so hopefully you should be feeling good. We just need to reset ourselves. Look at the state of my hair. I shouldn't have done that. You actually see yourself, you're like, oh Christ. Right, so we are going to do a final little bit of glute work here. Now, this is the point as to if you have, and I do mean if you have a band, it does not matter, you can do this without a band as well. Then I want you to place your band around your ankles, okay? So I will add this band in just to demonstrate, and then I'll take it off. So just above your ankles if you have your band. Steve, if you're going for a band, I'd go for the slightly lighter one, okay? Not the heavier one, it's going to be really difficult. So we've got our band on here. And if you don't have your band on, you are hip width apart anyway. So we're going to start by creating one side, just weight over to one side, hands on your hips, and then we're going to do some little squeezes out to the side. Now, what you'll find, first of all, you've got a balance. So pick a point just ahead of you that's not moving. I wouldn't look at the screen on this one because obviously I am moving. And you're going to just bring one leg out and back. Now, particularly if you've got the band on, you'll feel this in your glute medius, which is here. Okay, so you should feel this sort of to the side of your hip, slightly around to your glutes. So just keep going, a few more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Wonderful. And as I said, if you've got a band on, that's pretty tough. Just give your legs a little shake. Okay, swap over to the other side. So you've just weighted the other side. Hands back on hips again, and just make sure that your posture feels upright. And then we're going to do exactly the same thing on the side. Now, usually people favor starting on their preferred side. This side may be a little harder. And that's the case on absolutely everything you do. Usually people like to start on their dominant side. That's it, just squeeze it out. Even if you've got no band on, this is tough. Now, this is also the point where you can add a little weight. So if you want to add a little weight on the side here, you are more than welcome to. It does make it harder, of course. And 4, 3, squeeze. 2, and 1. Lovely. Okay, bring it down. Just give your legs a little shake. So your glutes should have gone, oh my God, okay, slightly woken up here, particularly with a band on. So now what we're going to do is I'll turn to the side so you can see me do this. We're going to lift one leg. So just balance on one leg. Now, I like to call this a nodding donkey, and you'll see why in a sec. So oil, nodding donkeys, this is what we're doing, okay? The pivot point is your hips. So what we're going to do is forwards and backwards. Now, this is obviously where your balance comes in. I want you to very slightly bend that knee. Very slightly. That's quite important because that kicks your glute in to play. So not only is your leg got to stabilize and you've got to use your core to balance, your glute, the one you're standing on, should feel this. Now, you can absolutely do this with the band on as well. I would just bring the band slightly further up if it's not that flexible, because obviously you can't get too far away here. So if you want to bring the band up, you can keep it there. If you want to take the band off, by all means, this isn't easy. Keep that leg bent. That's it. Now, hopefully you should feel this on this glute. The further you sit back, just keep going, but the further you sit back, so if you're here, you should feel it more on your glute, and it should be really instant. So if you've got this right, your glute will go, oh, pretty quickly. Because of what I've been doing this week, I can feel that really quickly. So one more on this side, and then back up. If you can't feel it, you need to sit back more, okay? If you're dead straight, that doesn't really do much. You need to sit down slightly if you're getting that, okay? So let's try exactly the same thing and swap over the other side. So plaster your foot onto the floor first, nice and steady, hands on hips, and just bring that one foot up. So that's the first stage. And by the way, if you can't even do that, just practice that, please, because I know for a lot of people, balance isn't their forte. So even if you just need to practice this. Now bend that leg that you're on slightly, very slightly, sticking your glute out. Now we're going to do the little nodding donkey. So back is straight. Back has to be straight. Okay, and if you can notice, the pivot point is here. Pivot point is not your knee, it's not your back, it's your hips. So concentrate on what you're doing, and if you've got this right, should immediately cane, absolutely cane this one. Now, just if you want to do this in the gym, for example, a really good thing that you can do is actually add a weight on here. So I sometimes use a kettlebell for my poor personal training clients. Those of you who are watching this now who are my PT clients, you'll know what I mean. You can also do this with a cable machine. So attach the cable machine to this leg. That's also really good, okay? But from a Pilates perspective, balance and control. Keep that back nice and straight. Let's do one more. Bringing it down and back up. Wonderful. Foot back on the floor. Give yourself a well-earned little shake. Wonderful. Okay. Right. I just want to finish because of what we've done there. I just want to finish with a little roll down and roll up just to make sure that your back's feeling nice and relaxed still. So where you should be feeling this, core should be fully engaged. Now we did quite a lot of core, particularly your lower, that was quite strong. Glutes you absolutely should be feeling this now on there, but your whole body should be feeling quite stretched out. Okay, you should be feeling quite stretched and relaxed now. So let's just do one more roll down and then we'll finish with our little sweeps. So all the way up, deep breath in, bringing it down, roll it down, all the way down. Just really relax those vertebrae. Down, 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 relax. Drop your head. Just really start to feel the weight of your arms and your head. Okay, so you're going to put one hand at the back of your head and just relax that down further. That should just pull you down very, very gently. Relax. And release that. And then now I want you to hold on to, if you can see me, hold on to the inside creases of your elbows. So you've got basically got your arms folded and just relax it down. Relax your head. 1 second, apologies everyone. Hurry, too loud. Thank you. Okay, bring your arms down to the floor and then all the way back up. I'm very much hoping you're not doing this with an 8-year-old with a very annoying iPad next to you. And all the way up. Deep breath in, arms up. And relax down. Wonderful. So back should feeling really aligned now. We are going to finish as we normally finish with 3 little sweeps. And what I normally do with this is we're coming up onto our toes at the end. If you would like to test your balance further, then close your eyes. It is a lot harder. Maybe try the first one with your eyes open. So taking a little sweep down, deep breath in, squeeze your glutes and lift. Very good. And down. And let's do 2 more. And deep breath in, arms up onto your toes if you're able to. And close your eyes if you want to. Whoa, a lot harder. I'm going to be brave. See if you can do it. Whoa. Very good. Wonderful. Excellent. Thank you very, very much, everyone. Absolute pleasure to teach you this evening. You just give me 1 second. I will take this off of mute and record.